Look, you think you're doing everything right. You've gone to school. You've got good grades. You're following the plan everyone told you to follow. But let me ask you something. Why are so many people doing everything right and are still broke? Robert Kiyosaki answers that question in this podcast interview, and the answer is going to make you feel a little uncomfortable. Look, I've watched this interview and had to stop it 2 or 3 times because every time Robert Kiyosaki would drop some game, I would say to myself, wait, but how do I actually do that? And that's exactly what I'm going to give you today. An action plan to execute on every valuable thing mentioned in this video, because you will not leave here how you came in. Let's get to the first clip.
Why were the wise men wise? And they said they sought the best teacher. And, freedom of religion and all this, they sought Jesus Christ. And so I went, wow, I'm 7. I went, seek the best teacher. Because I was kind of disappointed in my old man, poor dad. He was a PhD, Stanford, University of Chicago, Northwestern. And all he was saying to me, I said, hey, Dad, when am I going to learn about money? I'm 7 years old. He says, well, if you stay in school, get your PhD, you'll be rich. I said, Dad, you have a PhD. Don't bullshit me. You're poor. And then I said, poor. PhD stands for poor, helpless, and desperate.
Choose your teachers wisely. That's the whole thing. That's the concept that Kiyosaki has been teaching for decades, and it's still the most overlooked piece of advice in the game. Here's why it hits different. Most people think that their biggest problem is that they don't have enough money, or they don't have enough connections or enough opportunity. But Kiyosaki is saying that your biggest problem is that you've been taking advice from the wrong people your whole life. And because you've been listening to the wrong teachers, you've been building the wrong future. Think about it. Who taught you about money growing up? Probably your parents. And who taught them? Their parents. And where did that get your family? If the answer is not where you want to be, then you just found the problem. Now, I'm not saying your parents are bad people. Kiyosaki isn't saying that either. He loved his poor dad. But he was honest enough to look at his poor dad's results and say, I need a different teacher. And that takes guts, because it's easy just to follow the path that's already been laid out for you. It's hard to look around and say, this path doesn't lead where I want to go. And here's what makes this so critical for your age group right now. You're in the window of time where the teachers you choose today will determine your financial reality for the next 30, 40 years. The person you're listening to right now is programming your brain. So you better make sure they've actually built what you're trying to build. Now, let me give you an action plan behind Robert's strategy here. Okay. Get out your pen, because I'm going to give you 3 steps to write down. Step 1, audit your current teachers. Write down the 5 people who give you advice when it comes to money, career, and business. Then next to each name, have they actually built what you're trying to build? If the answer is no, then that's not your teacher. That's just someone with an opinion. There's a difference. Step 2, find a new teacher this week. Not a motivational speaker, not someone who just talks about success. Find someone who has the specific results that you want to achieve in a specific area that you're working on. It could be a real estate investor, an entrepreneur, a sales professional, whatever lane it is. Find the person who is actually in it and winning. Follow them, study them, consume everything they put out. Step 3, be honest about inherited beliefs. Write down 3 money beliefs you had growing up with. Things like money is hard to make, or rich people are greedy, or just save and you'll be okay. Then ask yourself, where did this belief come from, and does it actually hold up? Because if you're still running on beliefs that came from broke teachers, you will sabotage every opportunity that comes your way. That's segment 1. Let's move on to the next clip.
This thing called cash flow. That's why my first product was a cash flow board game. And the reason I created a board game was I learned everything about investing, playing Monopoly with my rich dad. I sit there playing Monopoly, 4 greenhouses, red hotel, 4 greenhouses, red hotel. And so I'm like, 8, 9, 10 years old playing Monopoly. He goes, I said, why are we playing Monopoly? He says, my rich dad says, because the formula for wealth, with lots of formulas. He's always said there's 1 million ways to financial heaven, but 1 billion ways to financial hell. And one of the ways to financial heaven is the Monopoly game. 4 greenhouses, 1031 tax-deferred exchange, red hotel. I own this hotel here.
Let's backtrack what Kiyosaki just broke down. Robert says something that most people argue with before they even understand it. He said, your house is not an asset. And if that made you defensive, then that's good. That means you needed to hear it. Here's the breakdown, and I'm going to make this simple because most people think that an asset is anything that you own that has value. A car, a house, a watch, but that's not an asset. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket every single month, whether you work or not. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket every single month. Now think about your house. You've got a mortgage payment, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, HOA maybe. That house is taking money out of your pocket every month. That's the definition of liability. It doesn't matter how much it appreciates. If it's not producing cash flow, it is not working for you. Robert Kiyosaki owns 15,000 rental properties. Every single one of them puts money in his pocket each month. That's the difference. He's not buying things that look like wealth. He's buying things that generate wealth. And the formula is so simple that it's almost embarrassing, but it's something that we need to hear. 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel, cash flow. Here's the question I want you to sit on. Look at everything you own right now. How many of those things are putting money in your pocket? And how many of those things are taking money out of your pocket? That ratio tells you everything about where your financial life is headed. So let me give you an action plan with 3 steps. Step 1, do an asset and liability audit right now. Grab a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On the left side, write down the assets, and on the right side, write down the liabilities. Put everything that you own on one of those 2 columns based on one question. Does this put money in my pocket or does it take it out? And be honest. Most people will find that their liabilities column is a lot longer than they expected. Step 2, learn what cash flow actually means in your life. You don't have to own 15,000 rental properties to start, but you need to understand the concept. Start small, 1 rental property unit, or a side business or a digital product, something that generates income without requiring you to trade time for it every single time. And then pick 1 cash flow vehicle and start learning everything about it. Step 3, stop measuring wealth by what you own and start measuring it by what your assets produce. Stop measuring wealth by what you own and start measuring it by the assets it produces. The goal is not to have a big house. The goal is to have enough monthly cash flow that your expenses are covered enough with the cash flow without you having to work. That number, whatever it is for your life, is what it needs to be. That's your real financial target. Now write it down. And then now you have something to build towards. All right, so let's jump into the last segment. And this is one of the ones that are going to challenge you the most. Let's get to it.
I'm about to get fired. I said, why? He says, because I got no sales. And he asked me, he says, how many sales calls do you make a day? I said, on a good day, 2. Yes, cold calling. Which is, no, everybody hates cold calling. This is in Hawaii. Beat it. I quit. So my rich dad said to me, he says, the reason you're failing is because you're not failing fast enough. If you're going to fail, step up your failure rate. That's exactly opposite of my rich dad, poor dad, I mean. I said, how do I step up my failure rate? He says, figure it out. So I said, how can I do good and step up my failure rate? So I found a nonprofit. So this is in downtown Honolulu, Hawaii. So I'd go from the Xerox office uptown, and I'd sit there and I'd dial for dollars for this nonprofit. And my goal was to make 30 sales calls a night. And I sat there and I dialed for dollars, and I didn't stop until I talked to 30 people.
Look, I need you to hear me on this one. Kiyosaki says something that goes against everything we were taught growing up. He said the reason you're failing is because you're not failing fast enough. Think about it. Because most of us were taught that failure is the enemy. You get something wrong in school, you get a bad grade. You make a mistake at work, you might lose your job. The whole system is designed to make you terrified of failure, and that fear is exactly what's keeping you stuck. Here's what Kiyosaki figured out at Xerox. He was making 2 sales calls a day and wondering why he wasn't getting results. His rich dad didn't tell him to get better at sales. He didn't tell him to study harder. He told him to fail faster, make more calls, talk to more people, get more no's. Because on the other side of no's, the yes starts showing up. And here's what's wild about that story. He started making 30 calls a night for a nonprofit just to practice failing faster. He wasn't even getting paid for it. And his actual sales at Xerox went up automatically because the fear went away. When you fail enough times, it stops being scary. And when it stops being scary, you stop hesitating. And when you stop hesitating, you start winning. Think about where you are right now in your career or your business. How many times have you talked yourself out of making the call, sending the email, launching the idea, starting the channel, pitching the client, because you were afraid of what might happen if it didn't work? That right there is the most expensive habit you have, and it's costing you every single day. The people who win are not the people who don't fail. The people who fail the fastest and get up every single time are the ones that win. All right, so here's the action plan for this segment. And I actually want you to do these. Don't just nod your head or just write this down and then put the piece of paper away and never look at it again. Actually do these steps. Step 1, identify where you are failing too slowly at right now. Identify where you are failing too slowly right now. What is the area in your life or business where you are just moving too cautiously? It could be sales calls. It could be content creation. It could be outreach. It could be launching something. Write it down. That's your slow failure zone, and it needs to change starting this week. Matter of fact, it needs to change starting today. Step 2, set a failure quota. Just like Robert said, he made 30 calls a night. Give yourself a daily or weekly number, not just a success target. Give yourself a failure target. If you're in sales, make 20 calls a day. Matter of fact, that's a low number. Make 100 to 200 dials a day. If you're a content creator, post 5 times this week. If you're building a business, reach out to 10 potential clients today. The goal is to not get all of them. The goal is to get enough reps so that the fear starts to disappear. Step 3, track your no's and not just your yeses. Every time you get rejected, turned down, ignored, or told it won't work, write it down, because those no's are proof that you're in the game. And the more no's you collect, the closer you are to the yes that changes everything. All you need is the one yes. Most people quit right before the breakthrough because they're counting the wrong thing. All right, so let's bring this home. 3 concepts, 3 action plans, all from Robert Kiyosaki. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Number 1, choose your teachers wisely. The people you're listening to right now are programming your future. Make sure they've actually built what you're trying to build. Number 2, your house is not an asset. Stop measuring wealth by what you own and start measuring it by what produces cash flow in your life every single month. Number 3, you're not failing enough. The fear of failure is costing you more than the fear of failure is costing you more than failure could ever cost you. Okay. Step up your failure rate and watch what happens. Listen, I need you to do one thing before we end this video. Go back through the 3 action plans and pick one step and commit to executing it before you go to bed tonight. Not this weekend, tonight. Because that's the gap between the people who watch and the people who build. It's not talent. It's not connections. It's not where you've come from. It's whether you're doing something with what you just learned. I love y'all for real, and I love y'all for being here. Drop a comment and tell me what segment hit you the hardest. I read every single comment, so I want to know. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Every week we take a new School of Hard Knocks video and we turn it into an action plan. This is where watching stops and the doing starts. See you in the next one.